I'll be introducing but our expert today is Dr. Rashmi Sharma ma'am. She's Director, Origin Fertility and IVF. And ma'am is, she needs no introduction. She's received many awards and she's a editor, Indian Fertility Society 2024-2026. She's former HOD IVF Department, Moorchand Hospital, Delhi, Max Hospital, Pitampura. She's a recipient of CS Dawn Award for the best paper presentation on her work in IVF ICSI in AICOG 2020. She received Hall of Fame Best IVF Specialist in India North at Economic Times 2019, 2023, 24, and 25. She received the Best IVF Center in North India Award and the Most Integrated Team in IVF. Ma'am is a recipient of the Best IFS Executive at Fertivision 2018 and has numerous chapters in infertility books and many national and international paper presentations and publications. I welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ankita.
Yes, ma'am. So the first speaker today is Dr. Yukti Bharadwaj, and she'll be speaking for the motion. Yukti, if you can show me the your intro. Yukti,
Ma'am, can you
see?
Yes,
I can see your CV. So Dr. Yukti is consultant Gaudim IVF Janakpuri, and earlier she was working as a consultant in Indra IVF Patel Nagar. And she has also received various awards like Star of Delhi ISAR and Youth Icon Award and ISAR Delhi Appreciation Award. She's got many awards in a lot of quiz, and she is an active participant of a lot of debates and quizzes also. So Yukti, you can go ahead with the for the motion debate, and then I'll be introducing the second speaker later.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for the kind introduction. And at the beginning, I would wish Shweta Gupta ma'am a very happy birthday. It's her birthday today, so many happy returns of the day, madam. And thank you, Indian Fertility Society, IFS, for this opportunity. And a big thank you to Ankita Sethi ma'am for this invitation. So I will be speaking for the motion for single embryo transfer in favor of single embryo transfer. Primum non nocere. We all know this famous Latin phrase by Hippocrates. What is the aim of assisted conception? It is a healthy live singleton birth. So my topic becomes easier because I've got full support from the ESHRE guidelines, which were published in 2023, and the ASRM guidelines, which came in 2021. There are two types of single embryo transfer. Compulsory single embryo transfer when we have only one embryo available for the transfer. And medical single embryo transfer, which is applied to women in whom a multiple pregnancy represents a priori increased medical risk compared to the overall population. So these are the women with severe systemic disease, congenital uterine anomalies, and a bad obstetric history. What are the benefits of single embryo transfer? For the woman, the mother, it is a safe pregnancy, a vaginal delivery, decreased risk of preeclampsia, gestational diabetes, emergency cesarean sections, and decreased risk of preterm labor. For the baby will have a full term, will be delivered at full term, will have a healthier childhood, and decreased risk of prematurity and developmental delays. The society gets healthier children, thus healthier families, and decreased financial burden. For the families, there is decreased psychological burden and financial strain. The systematic reviews have shown that the multiple pregnancies are associated with various maternal health risks, such as increased antenatal hospitalization, cesarean section, gestational diabetes, preterm labor, preeclampsia, antepartum hemorrhage, and obviously postpartum hemorrhage is very common. Fetal and neonatal risk are also increased, such as risk of congenital anomalies, preterm births, low birth weight, NICU admissions, perinatal mortality rate, and stillbirth rate. So various studies have shown that all these risks, which I have mentioned, are increased when in the presence of more than one fetus. Similarly, fetal and neonatal health risks are also increased when more than one fetus is present in the womb. So the ESHRE 2023 has supported single embryo transfer, saying that all these risks are increased, and therefore if we are considering the embryo transfer, it should be a single embryo transfer. And if you are doing a double embryo transfer, then an informed consent should be taken from the couple. Coming to the financial criteria. So there is definitely financial strain to the family and the society, and all these have to be taken into account before transferring more than one embryo. Psychological issues are associated with multiple pregnancies. It has been seen in a systematic review that psychological disorders like depression, anxiety, and parenting stress were found more in parents of multiple pregnancies. So these psychosocial dimensions have to be taken account and before transferring more than one embryo. The clinical criteria. So the clinical criteria is such, for example, previous unsuccessful ART treatment. Clinicians think that if there is a previous IVF failure, then this time they should transfer more than one embryo. But there is no scientific evidence behind it. So the decision to perform double embryo transfer instead of a single embryo transfer should not be based on the number of previous unsuccessful ART treatments. Also, the duration of infertility should not affect our decision to do a single embryo transfer. So the longer duration of infertility does not mean that more than one embryo has to be transferred. Previous pregnancy or live birth. Pregnancy from an ART cycle has been found to be a good prognosis indicator of pregnancy in a subsequent cycle, with an increased chance of both live birth and multiple births. But evidence suggests that this factor does not predict live birth and multiple pregnancy in single embryo and double embryo transfer cycle. So Eshe says the decision to perform DET instead of a single embryo transfer should not be based on previous pregnancies or live births from the ART treatment. Now the female age. So here I'll be taking the guidance from the ASRM 2021 recommendations. According to the ASRM 2021, women younger than 35 years should receive a single embryo transfer regardless of their embryo stage. Elective single embryo transfer should also be strongly considered for patients who are aged between 35 to 37 years. It has been shown in data that elective single embryo transfer in women aged less than 30 years had decreased risk of multiple gestation with no significant impact on the clinical live birth rates. So this is the ASRM 2021 guideline table. So whenever we are transferring a euploid embryo, it is definitely a single embryo transfer, as you can see here. And in women less than 35 years or between 35 to 37 years, the ASRM is suggesting a single embryo transfer. So we can see here for that clinical live birth rate remains the same, whether we are doing a single embryo transfer or a double embryo transfer in all these age groups, but definitely the multiple pregnancy rate, the preterm deliveries, and the perinatal mortality are significantly increasing in the double embryo transfer groups. So Eshe says that whether it is a woman is less than 38 years or more than 38 years, it strongly recommends a single embryo transfer. So also our decision should not depend on whether a woman is a poor responder, normal responder, or high responder. Eshe recommends elective single embryo transfer in all these ovarian responders. The decision to perform a DET instead of SCT should also not be based on the endometrial characteristics. Now coming to if the couple has a donor oocyte IVF. So we know that these women are at increased risk of preeclampsia in their pregnancies. So we can't increase that risk further by transferring more than one embryo. So a strict SCT for this age group. Also, if the couple has opted for a gestational carrier, the ASRM strongly suggests that we should do a single embryo transfer only. Coming to the criteria related to the embryo. So in a fresh transfer, whether it is a cleavage stage embryo or a blastocyst stage embryo, they are strongly suggesting a single embryo transfer. We know that in the blastocyst stage transfer, there is increased risk of monozygotic twinning. So we can't increase this risk further. Thus, elective single embryo transfer is associated with a higher benefit to risk ratio. Also, if it is a frozen embryo transfer, whether it is cleavage stage or blastocyst stage, or, for all these kind of embryos, also the ASHRAE has advised a single embryo transfer. Now, very important, pre-implantation genetic testing. We know that the purpose of doing a pre-implantation genetics testing is to optimize the adherence to the single embryo transfer. We have innumerable studies for the same. The ASRM 2021 has recommended that the transfer of only one euploid embryo, regardless of the patient's age. So PGT itself is seen as an elective single embryo strategy, thus reducing the risk of multiple pregnancies. Now, fetal reduction. Many clinicians have an opinion that we will transfer more than one embryos and later do a reduction. But fetal reduction itself is associated with a lot of maternal and neonatal complications. Thus, the ASHRAE has recommended that fetal reduction should be used as a last resort to reduce the risk associated with high-order pregnancies and not as a planned strategy to address the expected higher rate of multiple pregnancies following the transfer of more than one embryos. So it is very important to provide information on the risk associated with twin pregnancies, which will increase the desirability of elective single embryo transfer in the couple. Patient counseling is very important. It has to be a shared decision making. The patient has to be explained the pros and cons of doing a single versus double embryo transfer. So the patient involvement, which ensures a decision that reflects both healthcare professional, good clinical judgment, and the patient values and personal context. So here, patient counseling plays a very important role. ASRM 2021 has advised to document justification for transferring a greater number of embryos in the medical record, noting the patient age, the parity, the medical conditions, embryo quality, the opportunity for cryopreservation, and the patient prognosis. The favorable characteristics which will help us in selecting the couples for a single embryo transfer are the presence of high quality vitrified embryos, euploid embryos, first embryo transfer, and a previous live birth. Patient with a coexistent medical condition, multiple pregnancy will increase the morbidity further. So these are also candidates for single embryo transfer. The number of embryos transferred should be determined by the physician and patient, informed consents taken, and the information recorded in the clinical record. So here, the ASRM 2021 has emphasized on the importance of documentation in embryo transfer. So I found this very interesting paper, which was published on March 14, 2025, One Embryo, One Goal, letting go of elective in single embryo transfer. So it says that it is high time that we avoided using the word elective in our single embryo transfer. So we have to keep it simple and precise by just using the term single embryo transfer. Because the language we choose in guidelines and clinical practice carries a lot of weightage for the couple in shaping their perceptions and influencing care. By adopting the accurate terminology, we reinforce our commitment to patient care, safety, and evolving standards of the medical practice. So with the help of AI, with artificial intelligence integration, we can select the best embryo and help in doing a single embryo transfer. It will aid in our single embryo transfer strategy. Thank you so much.
Very nice, Dr. Yukti. I think you really summarized the evidence very nicely. And yeah, more and more evidence is gathering for single embryo transfers. And I think such kind of debate will really help us to shape the strategy in future. And I really don't know how Dr. Soumya is going to defend going against it. So I am eagerly waiting to listen to Dr. Soumya.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am.
You have been given a very difficult task, I guess. Soumya, this is unfair to you.
But
That's the reason
she
we
has
gave it to
very
Dr.
nicely.
Soumya.
Yeah, yeah. I'll, should I share my slides, Ankita?
Yeah, Dr. Soumya, please share your
Okay.
slides.
All right. So,
So
thank you.
I'd now like to introduce Dr. Soumya, our next speaker. She'll be speaking against the motion. And she's a senior consultant in Matitra Advanced IVF and Maternity Center, New Delhi. And she's been executive member of the Indian Fertility Society 2024-2026 and co-convener SIG Committee Endometriosis, assistant web editor, and co-editor of AOGD 2021 and 2022. She got the IFS Young Achiever Award in 2023 and awarded the Foxy Dr. Kamini Rao Orator Award for the year 2023 and IFS Achiever Award in IFS 2023. She's also got the ISAR Young Talent Award in ISAR 2022 and a lot of other awards, all the Young Turks and Young Debut Award as well. So, Dr. Soumya, go for it.
Yes. Thank you so much, Ankita, for inviting me for this debate. It was a very interesting topic, and but I did not expect that it is going to be so difficult. Yukti has very nicely summarized and told us about the guidelines. But when we talk about IVF and when we are dealing with IVF patients, we have to look at the clinical point too, and not just go on the guidelines. So, I think I've just let me just share the other screen. Just a second. Yeah. So when we talk about, so to begin with, this is the ASRM fact sheet for the patients which they had put in, and they had very nicely summed up that who is a good candidate for an elective single embryo transfer, and they said that a patient who is younger than 35 years should be given an elective single embryo transfer, and how successful would it be? It will be good only if the patient is less than 35 years old, and a patient who is more than 35 years does not have a good success rate when having a electively putting a single embryo transfer. And we all know that with age, the infertility increases. The prevalence of infertility is much higher in a higher group. So we are dealing with patients who are more than 35 years, and the infertility rate in those patients are more. So the guidelines which ASRM has also put in, that patient who is less than 35 years old would benefit more with elective transfer, a single embryo transfer, rather than a patient who is more than 35 years. So the first, the criteria only goes against doing a electively single embryo transfer for patients older than 35. Then coming to more live births, there are n number of studies who have supported that with patients having a double embryo transfer have a greater live birth rate. So this was a meta-analysis in 2022, and they said that there was an overall increase in the live birth rate when a double embryo transfer was done. And there are many studies since years, the studies have been there who have significantly reported a higher live birth and cumulative live birth rate with double embryo transfer. Then when we are talking about double embryo transfer and a good live birth rate, that means with and compared to a single embryo transfer rate, the time to achieve the pregnancy extends. So since we are having a clinical pregnancy, not just a live birth, we have not just a pregnancy rate, but a clinical pregnancy rate and a live birth is better with a double embryo transfer. The time to achieve that pregnancy is less. The duration of infertility it thus decreases. And with decrease in duration of infertility, not only the depression and anxiety, we all know the patients who are having infertility are already going through a lot of depression, anxiety, and psychosocial stress. But along with this was a very interesting study which I found, that there's an impact on the duration on the sexual dysfunction also of female having a longer duration of infertility. So this said that sexual desire ko the labial the libido also decreases, the arousal ability decreases, and with the duration, which is due to the prolonged infertility, causes the occurrence of sexual dysfunction. So she's not only having that stress, the mental stress, but there's a sexual dysfunction also adding up to it, which is not wanted, which is unwanted here. And if we are doing a double embryo transfer, the duration will decrease, and she may not have to go through all this. Then at the end of our IVF procedures and dealing with the patient, we all want our patient to be happy. And the desire for twins is always there in a patient who is infertile for years and years. And there are so many studies which are supporting that desire of multiple births, even when they have been told the risk, they are still willing to accept all those risks and go for a multiple pregnancy, because they have already gone through many years, many injections, and many cycles, and many disappointments. So they want to have multiple children. They want to have twins, and so they are not only in the clinical practice, but there are evidence which have proven that twin pregnancy is a desire for the patients who are undergoing IVF treatment. Then, along with all this, the financial condition also has to be kept in mind. So when I went through the literature, so a lot of literature was saying that single embryo transfer is more cost effective, but the cost effective was for that particular cycle. But what about that couple per lifetime? That couple want to have another child, maybe 2 years, 3 years down the line, and again have to go through an IVF cycle, and again go through that obstetrical cost, and that costing will obviously add on to the financial burden to the patient, to the couple as a whole. So when we are talking about cost effectiveness, it has to be calculated per lifetime. In a single go, if we are having twin pregnancy, then rather would that be beneficial, or a patient who is having a IVF cycle getting pregnant with one singleton, and after 5 years down, maybe the cost of obstetrical cost increases, maybe the cost IVF cost increases, the cycle cost increases, and again go, and then do we add them, and which would be better? Would it be better if she would have had two children 5 years back, or she should have waited another 5 years? So if the true cost and benefit are to be compared, then the twin outcomes are obviously, they have been found to be much better. And plus, this was a study where they said the cost effectiveness of double embryo transfer is better, because the annual storage for the cryopreservation has been added. And actually, in this study, they actually said that a lot of insurance company, they take care of the IVF cycle. But when we are talking about the patient who has to pay, in our country, many insurance company do not take care of the IVF procedures and the costing. So when the patient has to pay, then the cost of cryopreservation, IVF cycle, and the obstetrical cost, that is more in a single embryo transfer, because the annual storage fee adds up to more than patient who is undergoing a double embryo transfer and having a twin pregnancy and having the delivery in the same cycle. Then outcomes of twin deliveries. Now, I very nicely, Yukti has said that the twin deliveries are have many complications associated. We all know that the complications are associated with it. But with years and with good with good obstetrical care and with good protocols now, the outcomes of twin deliveries have changed. This is a very recent 23 study in Korea. It was done where the pregnancy outcome in twin pregnancy over 10 years they had done. And they said that, yes, the preterm to early term, according to the chronicity, the patient, the doctor decides, and that's why they do a early intervention and deliver the child. And maybe it is not because just to have the twin delivery. So maybe having a better a better obstetrical strategies will benefit. And we have to also see the lifestyle, occupation, obesity, they also increases the preterm and preterm births in the twin pregnancy. So all that should be taken care beforehand. Before we are doing an IVF procedure, the lifestyle modification has to be done, and then a decision has to be made. But obviously the patient's desire has to be taken in mind, and the patient always desires to have a twin pregnancy if the patient has been infertile for a long duration. So at the end, we want a happy, satisfied patient patient, it has to be economical for the patient, and a better systematic prenatal and obstetrical care if it is provided, then maybe that, or even the twin pregnancy, which is labeled as a very high risk pregnancy, may not be as high risk as we think. So here I rest my case. It was quick and fast. Thank you so much.
Very nice, Soumya. You did a great job, actually, of a difficult topic. So, anyone wants to have any comments? So, the debate, I think we have to continue to have this dialogue and this debate, because this is and it seems like,
Ma'am, any
uh,
network issue? I don't know, it's on my end or your end.
are you able to hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So, it seems like that one size doesn't fit all. That is the that's the conclusion that the debate has. Of course, we have to continue to have this dialogue and this debate. There are both merits and demerits, that, as the debaters suggested. But every patient is unique, and this decision has to be, it cannot be like a blanket decision that single embryo transfer for all. I think it has to take care of the unique circumstances of each patient, going through her medical history, her fertility prognosis, her personal preferences, her cost preferences, insurance, money. So many things have to be taken. And availability of PGT. Are you having PGT for every patient? Of course, if it's a euploid embryo, single embryo transfer, yes. But if it is not euploid, so yeah, it was a good debate. Congratulations to both the debaters. Really.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am, I would like to ask just a general question to Dr. Yukti, because she supported the SET thing. As you rightly mentioned, that if there is, like, I'll give you an example. A 30-year-old AMH 0.35 oocytes, 2 day 3 embryos, 1 A grade, 1 B grade. There is no day 5 embryo. What do I do? She's less than 35 years. So,
Less than 35
A
years,
grade,
ma'am.
1 B grade. Yeah, day 3, 1 A grade, 1 B grade embryo. I have 2 embryos. What do I do?
Ma'am, if it is her first cycle, less than 35 years, that means she has a good prognosis, then we can transfer one embryo.
Yeah, but the other embryo
By
may not.
explaining the
may not-
success, obviously we have to
may not-
counsel. It has to be shared decision making, as I've explained in my presentation. And then we
Yes,
can...
I just an example from that, like what you're talking about, individualized approach. Basically, it's at the end of the day, patient's
end of the
embryo,
day,
just
it's always
sample them the
individual.
success rate and let them decide then. That's
Yes.
the, I think, like I am very pro SCT, like I'm very, very pro SCT, but at sometimes there is no other option. Like then I ask the patient, what do you want? These are your embryos. You want to take the chance?
And
Maybe
how
we
many
put
of them, Ankita, when you ask the patient, how many of them say that, yes, I want 2 embryos, I want a twin pregnancy? How many of them?
majority. Majority. I am
Yeah.
the one telling them against 2 embryos. I'm like telling them single embryo transfer, and they are like, no, no, put 2, it's okay. No,
put
no,
2.
put 2, it's okay.
And God forbid
Majority.
if that patient fails,
Yeah, yeah.
you have done a single embryo transfer, and if that patient fails and is sitting in front of you second time, it is
Yes.
such a difficult situation. So I think patient preferences and I think informed decision making is what is very, very important.
Yes,
Because
ma'am.
even the, like Yukti has mentioned PGT, even Mama said many centers don't do PGT. And even if you're doing PGT, even that adds to the cost and the financial burden to the patient. So it's not just the cryopreservation, it's the so many, and PGT is just one of the way to select them. Now there are a number of new ways which have come up to do a good embryo selection, and that will just add to the financial burden to the patient. So rather than going through all that, patient, if she just gets a double embryo transfer, conceives, and then we take care of the twin pregnancy as a good obstetrician and take the right decision, give her steroids at
And
the
then
right
I
time.
have something to support you. Also, again, another 30-year-old is there. She has good blast, okay, very good grade. And she's saying put 2. I said, no, I will put 1 only. Like I put my foot down that I'll put 1. It's okay if it's positive or negative. But you are young, your ET is fine, everything is fine. I'm going to put only 1 blast. So
Yeah.
again, individualize, basically. That is at the end of the day, as ma'am or Rashmi ma'am also said, ki patient
That's to be
preferences
very-
also consideration, and we also sometimes have to put foot forward and tell them,
Yes.
you know, this is best for you, that kind of thing.
And ma'am, documentation, whenever we are putting more than one embryo,
Yeah,
has said that you have to take the consent, why we are
I
doing
always
it.
take a consent that I have explained the risk of twin pregnancy. It's patient's choice now that they want the 2 embryos to be transferred if I'm
Documentation
doing
in ART is must at all levels, from the beginning, from putting gonadotropins to doing an embryo transfer. So yes.
Ma'am, we have Sudha ma'am here. We would like to have inputs from ma'am. Good evening, Sudha ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am.
Is there?
Yeah, ma'am joined.
Sudha ma'am,
Ma'am,
Yeah.
please, if you could put
please
your...
share your inputs, ma'am.
I think she joined and she's
No,
Ma'am
no,
is,
she's there. I can see her.
she there.
can she be unmuted?
Yeah, I think ma'am is trying.
Studies
ma'am.
and perceptions.
I think
Dr.
ma'am,
Sudha ma'am.
we can see ma'am, but it is muted.
She's not able to.
Host, can you please unmute, madam?
Let. Mm,
ASRM didn't say anything about what should be done for the women who are more than 37 years. But ASHRAE has strongly given their recommendation, whether it is less than 38, more than 38, do a single embryo transfer.
You
ASRM
had actually
They
taken a
said
very good
irrespective of
support.
anything. They said day 3, grade C embryo also you can put single embryo.
Single embryo.
According to ASHRAE, you can do like 1 grade C embryo also you can put, irrespective of anything they have written. That,
Yes, ma'am,
that you
embryo
should do
quality.
only 1, never do 2. Yeah.
But a lot of times guidelines, since it's not Indian guidelines, going
Yes,
through
yes.
HT guidelines, we have a different scenario here. Patient
Yes, the cost is to be taken care of.
is
There it is the government cost
government, yes.
Hmm.
The insurance company takes care of the IVF cycle. Over here, patient is struggling with one cycle.
and.
I think
The kind of embryo lab we are having, I think a lot of things depend on that also, madam.
Ma'am, I think we'll have to unmute herself
okay.
because it is showing as asked to unmute. Yeah.
Right.
She's locked out. I think even Anita ma'am was here.
Mm.
Geeta Khanna ma'am was also here. Ma'am is still here. Geeta Khanna ma'am is also here. Ma'am, your views, please. Anita ma'am, Geeta ma'am. No, both have unmuted. But
And any questions from the audience, they can write in the chat box.
Only
Yes, it
one
was a
question.
very interesting topic. I really enjoyed it. And both were correct in their own ways. And definitely, with better embryo culturing system and a single embryo transfer has become a very effective method of, abiding away all the problems we face with twin pregnancy and all. So it was a real nice debate, and congratulations to both of you.
thank you.
So similar thing I have to say. Geeta Khanna ma'am, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah. Actually, it was, I think, tougher for Soumya to present. But
Yeah,
she
yeah.
did a wonderful job along with
Yeah.
Deepthi. And both have put across their points. And individualization is the key, I think. That is
That's
the
true.
utmost what we can infer from both the presentations. So
That's true.
congratulations to both of you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good.
Everyone, and I think, can we wind up now, Dr. Ankita?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Any last, like you want to conclude or you give a last minute message, you can, ma'am, because I think no questions are there in the chat box right now, so we can finish off.
Yeah,
Okay.
as I said, dialogue and debates are very important. I think it's really important to continue to have this debate, continue to sensitize the reproductive fraternity for more and more towards single embryo transfer. And yes, patients' informed consent is very important. Counseling, discussion is very important. And I think our debaters have discussed their points so well. Really, I think that's all.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you, Ankita, for
Thank you
having.
so much. Thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
thank you, Dr. Yug.
Good
Thank
night,
you, Dr. Soumya.
Geeta
Thank you,
ma'am.
Dr. Rashmi.
ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Geeta.
Bye-bye.
Good night.